Today the sidekicks are taking over.
It's Teen Titans Deck Builders!
What are you guys doing? Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Roll Me Reviews. I'm Kirk, your host. As always, thank you so much for watching. Teen Titans is the fourth big box game in the DC deck building series from Cryptozoic. Will these second string heroes live up to the legacies of their Major League mentors? Let's find out. The basic mechanics of the Teen Titans deck builder are very similar to all the other versions of the DC deck building game. And it really is deck building at its most simple. You're going to take on the character in this game. Obviously, it's going to be a Teen Titan. You got Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, Beast Boy, Blue Beetle, Superboy, Red Robin, Raven, and Starfire. You see they all have their individual power. You're going to be fighting characters from the Teen Titans Rogues Gallery. Classic characters like Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, and Brother Blood, and Dr. Light, and Trigon. You're going to be trying to defeat those. You're going to start out with some basic cards in your hand. You get 7 punches, and you get 3 vulnerabilities. Punches are just +1 power. You get 1 currency in this game that's just power. Everything is bought and defeated with your power. So your punches, you start out with 7 +1 power punches, and you get 3 of these vulnerabilities, which have nothing on them. They just clog up your deck. And in standard deck builder fashion, you're going to use these cards to try to buy a better card. You look at these cards here, and everything has this big silver orb. That is the cost and power that you need to either take or defeat that card. You're going to have cards here coming out of the main deck, cards that represent other heroes, other villains, equipment, superpowers, and locations. And obviously all those give you more power or different special abilities, but you're using those to make your deck more powerful. Once you get enough power, you can start fighting the enemies here. And you see here, they all have their cost. And as you defeat them, new ones come out and they have a first appearance attack. So every time you defeat a villain, you're going to have to deal with the attack from the next one. And of course, you always have available to you these basic kick cards, basic superpowers at +2 power, and weaknesses, which different attacks and game effects will put in your hand. These also just clog in your deck. Players will be taking turns buying cards from the center row, eventually defeating the villains, and the game will end when the last villain is defeated or this pile here runs out. At that point, you add up the point values of all your cards, which are these stars right here, and whoever has the highest point value wins the game. The one thing that's different about the Teen Titans deck builder is that there's a focus on this game on cards you control. Cards that are ongoing, like this one here, they'll say ongoing, those cards stay out in front of you, and also cards you control are cards that you have played that round. So a lot of the character powers, a lot of the villains' abilities, all revolve around cards you control. You have ongoing cards, you have cards like this, it's worth points for the ongoing cards you have in your deck at the end of the game. You see here the powers for a lot of your heroes revolve around controlling cards. Once during each of your turns, if you control 2 or more equipment, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Blue Beetle. Once during each of your turns, if you control 7 or more cards, you draw a card. A lot of the powers are like that. So that's the one factor in this game kind of separates it from the other DC deck building games. But in general, it plays very similar to the other DC deck building games. And there you have Teen Titans, the DC deck building game. I was a big fan of the DC deck builder when it first came out. I know a lot of people had a problem with it, mostly because it got a little wonky with the theme. To me, that was never a big deal, though. The theme made sense in an abstract kind of way. Why does Flash have the Batmobile? Oh, because Batman showed up to help him with this mission. Why does Wonder Woman have a Green Lantern ring? Well, who hasn't had a Green Lantern ring in the past 10 years in DC Comics? Why are the heroes playing villains out of their hand and attacking people with them? Because they captured those villains and now they're using the information they got to fight other villains. Why are the heroes all fighting each other? Well, because it's a card game. You might be overthinking it a little bit. But yeah, the theme never bothered me. I mean, come on, how thematic is Dominion? It's a fun deck builder. I really liked it. I enjoyed the second big expansion, which was Heroes United when that came out, because it really just gave you more of the same. It didn't really add a whole lot to the game except more cards, more heroes, a few more options. Then the third expansion came out, Forever Evil, which was focused on villains. And that's when they started to add focuses on different mechanics and kind of change the game up a little bit. And I think this is where it took a bad turn. And finally, with Teen Titans, you again have that focus on a certain aspect of the game, and ultimately that's what I think is the downfall of the Teen Titans version of the game. With the original game, your strategy is based mainly on your character's power, or maybe some cards you're able to pick up early. With Teen Titans, because everything is so focused on controlling cards and ongoing cards, everybody's trying to get those no matter what character they have. Makes the game a little more complicated, it takes a little longer to play, and to be honest, it's just not as much fun when you're locked into that one strategy and trying to get just those cards. I also think that negates what is supposed to be one of the biggest selling points of these DC deck building games, which is the fact that you're supposed to be able to combine them all together, mix them up, and get new variations on the game. When you have the game revolving so much around one aspect of it, in this case, ongoing cards and controlling cards, you can't mix in other sets without watering that down. If you were to mix Teen Titans in with another version of the game, you're going to make the cards less valuable, you're going to make the heroes from this game a lot weaker, so you can't mix them up and you really have to play it only as a standalone. So for those reasons, to me, Teen Titans is a pass. If you want to play the DC deck builder, go get the original game, get Heroes United. You might want to stop there. Teen Titans, unless you are a die-hard completionist collector of these games, I'd give it a hard pass. Teen Titans, go. Someplace else, because you're not going to be at my table. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching this edition of Roll and Move Reviews. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about this video. Tell me why I'm right or wrong about Teen Titans. If you liked the video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Also follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. As always, visit our sponsor website, alteregogames.net. They're going to get you great deals on all the games you're looking to buy. You can watch our older videos on YouTube, Board Game Geek, Facebook, or the Alter Ego Games site. That's all for now, guys. Until next time, to the Batmobile!